I've been in the waters.
What's up guys, welcome to another video. My name is Josh Trahane. For today's video, I have my Model 3 Tesla behind me that I bought 4 days ago. If you guys watched the video where I got it delivered, then you would have seen me picking it up and going through all the different features and stuff that it has in it. So if you're interested in that, I'll link the video right here and you can click it and go and watch that. For today's video, because the car is so new and I've only driven it 400 kilometers or something, I thought it would be kind of interesting to tell you guys about some of the different things that I like and some things that I don't like within the matter of just the 4 days that I've owned it. So yeah, if there's any other videos that you guys want to see or any questions that you have about the car that you want me to make videos on, leave those in the comments and I'll try to go through every single thing that people comment. So yeah, for today's video, some things that I like and some things that I don't like within the matter of 4 days that I've owned the car. All right, so getting into the car, I will show you guys a couple things that I'm gonna start with some things that I don't like about the car first because they're little minor things. And when I'm making this video about the things that I don't like, by no means am I complaining about anything because I feel like it's so easy to fix these minor problems. But it's just something that I noticed right off the bat and something that I feel like you guys probably will too when you get in the car. So starting off first, when you go and purchase the car and you bring it home, you don't get any mats. So I feel like when you go and buy a car, one of the things that you kind of I feel like it's kind of expected. Like when I bought a different car before this one, it was fully equipped with mats and everything, whereas when you buy the Tesla, it doesn't have it. So that's a minor thing that can be fixed. I've already ordered mats for it. It's just that for the past 4 days I haven't had mats, and if it was raining and it was muddy and all that kind of stuff, I'd probably be freaking out a little bit more than I am right now. But for right now, it's totally fine. It's nice and sunny out. People barely have any mud on their shoes, so don't really have to worry about it. If you order them a couple days before you actually get the car, then you can just throw them in and it'll be totally fine. But I didn't do that. I didn't really realize. I didn't do that much research. So yeah, that's the first super minor thing. The second thing that I saw a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of people saying was that the middle console, so this part right here, you can't really see it on the camera. Maybe if I put it a little bit closer. This thing gets so many fingerprints on it, it's unreal. So the screen gets a lot of fingerprints and this black thing. So I saw on Amazon you can actually get covers for all of this so that when you do touch it, it's not actually going onto whatever this material is. That's not really that big of a deal, but it's just something that I've noticed and something that when I bought the car, I was kind of okay, I'm gonna have to deal with it, or I'll just have to go on Amazon and pick up some of those little cover things to cover it. So yeah, that's the second thing. Like I said, these are super minor. I'm not complaining about any of this because this is totally expected. The amount of things that are in this car, I feel like you shouldn't be worrying about fingerprints on the middle of your console because it just happens anyways, but that is the second thing. And now for all of the good things about the car. So the first thing I'm gonna start with is the regenerative braking. The one thing that I really love about this is in the last 4 days of owning the car, I feel like I've maybe touched the brakes a couple times coming up to lights, and that was it. You're never gonna go through brake pads, I feel like, because the regenerative braking is so good and it actually brings you to a complete stop a lot of the time. So that's the first thing that I really like. So the second really cool thing that I'm loving about this car is the steering. I feel like there's a lot of videos out there of people talking about how the steering really handles the corners and it feels like you're driving a go-kart or a race car or whatever. It's 100% true, and you don't feel like you're swaying all over the place. So second thing that I love about this car is how good it is when you're going around corners and the steering. The third one that I am actually super surprised in, and when I was looking for a car, I almost bought an SUV because I thought this car wasn't gonna have enough space. But after having this car for 4 days, the amount of things that you can fit in here is crazy. So on the dashboard, in order to open the front, you just click here and click open, and then you can click the back and click open. So I'm gonna show you guys how much space this car has. Okay, so when you come around to the front and you open it, you have a whole compartment in here that you can put stuff in, which is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be a tiny little thing that could maybe hold 1 or 2 grocery bags. You could literally put all of your grocery bags in here if you wanted, or you could probably fit a small suitcase in here, I would imagine, or like a couple backpacks. But yeah, the front has a lot of room. One thing I have to say though about the front as well is that it doesn't come with like a carpet or like a mat or anything. So when you're putting anything in here, you're putting it on the plastic. So you can get mats for that as well, which I also ordered. So I think it's a good idea if you're gonna be putting a lot of stuff in there, especially if it's like valuable stuff. So keep that in mind as well. All right, going around to the back of the car, I'll show you guys how much space you actually have in the trunk. So I have all my camera stuff here, but if you guys can see how deep this is. So, but then also when you move this stuff over and then you open up this compartment that they have here, you have like a huge well. So I don't know what you would put, like this is just extra storage. Like I could literally fit everything that's right here in the back of my trunk could fit in this little hole, and then I would have the rest of my trunk to put stuff in. So that's the trunk. Definitely a lot of space in there as well. Now, one more thing that I want to show you guys with the storage of the car is that because there's no transmission and like nothing, there's no like mechanical parts in here except for the big battery on the floor, the person who sits in the middle of this car has like full leg room. So there's nothing here in the middle, like you can put your feet under there and you have like all the space. It's basically like sitting in this seat. So that's just one thing that's kind of cool that I didn't really notice at first, but somebody was sitting here today and they kind of said like, oh, it's weird, like my knees aren't pushed up to my chest because there's nothing right there. So yeah. All right, so the last thing that I want to tell you guys about is the battery. This car can go up to, I think it's like 400 kilometers or just over or just under, I can't really remember. But in the past 4 days of owning it, I've probably driven, like the most I've driven is 100 kilometers in one day. And I feel like I drive quite a bit and the car has been totally fine. Like I have never been worried about running out of battery or trying to find a charging station. If you're really smart and you just like plug it in at night and charge it, not fully, but up to like 80 or 90% or whatever I have it set at, then you're totally good for like the next day or however long you want to drive it. I drove it for the last 2 days, I think, without even having to plug it in. So the battery life on it is amazing. It's been super hot outside. It's 30 degrees Celsius today, and I've had the air conditioning running. Everything's been going, the radio's been on. I even turn on the air conditioning when I'm sitting in a restaurant just to cool it down, and I haven't had any problems when it comes to the battery. So it's totally lived up to everything that I've expected in this car. And if there's any of you guys that are watching this that are considering getting it, I would say 100%. If you're looking at different electric cars, I would highly consider getting the Tesla. It's crazy. And when you put your foot down on the pedal, it takes off. So yeah, those are a couple things that I really like, and some like little minor things that just came to my mind when I was thinking, oh, this is kind of like a hassle, but not really. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to make more videos about this and talking about the car, leave the comments down below and I'll make the videos. So I'm probably gonna upload another video in about 3 days. So if you're not subscribed, subscribe and you'll get the notification when I do. But yeah, really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.